Welcome to this video where we'll explore how we can create in-cell bar charts. Okay, that seems a little weird, right? By the sound of it. But the thing is, see, when you're creating a dashboard, if you have way too many charts on it, it can get visually very cluttered, right? So how many charts do you set your eyes on? So to make things a little more easier, if you have tabulated values like these, you can actually have a bar chart uh, within the cell itself so as to represent these values. So what we've done is in the previous video, we had added the top three customers. So very similarly, I've added values against the home ownership as well. So as we can check in the pivot section here, I've added an additional pivot which shows the home mortgage values here and showing the current loan amount against that. It's for all the loan customers regardless of the loan status. So having added that to the dashboard, I want to represent these numbers as a bar in these cells. Okay, so in addition to looking at the numbers, by looking at the bars, I can see how big these numbers represent overall. Okay, so with that as a requirement, how do I go about doing it? So before I go in and do the entire calculation and stuff, let's take some assumptions here. So let's say this is accounting to 60% of the three values, and this is a 30%, and this is 10%, say for example. Okay, and now if these are the corresponding percentages, I want to show a bar that represents these values. So if that's the case, what we could do is there's a very interesting function that is available within Excel. It's called repeat, R-E-P-T. And it does exactly that. We can use this function to repeat a certain number of characters uh, a certain number of times, right? So how could we do that? Let me just open this formula bar here. So what we'll be using is the pipe symbol, the straight line symbol. So I'll use the pipe symbol and I can actually go and specify how many times I want this bar to be repeated. So in our case, in this particular cell, I would want it to repeat 60 times, which represents the percentage, right? But if I were to click OK to this, okay, so it is there, the 60 bars are there, but the thing is, it's separated, right? It's not together. It needs to be put together. So that can be easily sorted using the correct font. So by default, whatever font you have, you can change that to Playbill. Okay, so this is the font that you can use. Perfect. Now you've got it. Okay, so you can also change the color based on your requirement. So let's say we want to change the color, the font size, maybe the color as well. So let's say something a little more appealing. Oh, we change the background color. We don't need to change the background color. It's the font color that we need to change. Perfect. Okay, so with that sorted, now with the same thing, uh, let's go in and change the formatting here. I think I went and changed the background color. So let me just go and fix that. Okay, so these are things that you can go and fix accordingly. Let me just go and fix it. Yeah, okay, that's okay for now. So now I can also add this to the other cells as well. So now I could just copy paste this. There you go. So now you're seeing a bar that looks shorter, right? Because the percentage is different. So let's say it's 30%, right? So the bar reflects the value here. Okay, so that's exactly how we want to show against these corresponding values that are shown up here. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. So we should be in a position just to calculate the percentage and then represent that using a repeat. Okay, so that's all we need to do. So how do we calculate that? That's what we are going to have a look at. So we'll just change this to calculate the percentage. So first, the home mortgage value divided by the sum of all of these values. Perfect. And I can create an absolute cell reference. I can select this function F4. Perfect. Right. And that would give me the percentage, but I can also multiply it by 100 and round it off. Okay, perfect. Can round it off to 0 decimal places. Great. So if you want, just change the font for a moment just to see the values correctly. Yeah. So it's about 56%. So I can just drag it down. There you go. So it's 56, 35, and 8%. So now I can use this with the repeat function here. So let me just use that repeat, and then use the pipe symbol. Let me just open the formula bar so it's easier to view this. I'll use the pipe symbol here. Perfect. And all I need to do is change the font because the font is in Calibri. Go and change it to Playbill. There you go. Perfect. Job done. So now let's drag this down. See if it works correctly. Yes. So now we don't need these values here. These dummy values are not needed. We can get rid of them. Perfect. Now with a change in my selection of the slicer, you can see that there will be a change in the bars as well. Okay, perfect. So now we are seeing the minor changes show up. The values are also changing and the bars are also changing accordingly. Perfect. Perfect. So this is how you work with, an inline bar chart. So, a couple of steps in order for us to achieve this, but it can definitely add a lot of visual appeal on your dashboard. Right. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video series. I enjoyed bringing it across to you. So till I meet you in the next video, it's bye from me.